Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I'm Tina. Today I'm doing something different. If you recognize my shirt and my video from the other day where I talked about The Guardian Critics' Top 100 Books, this is a list of The Guardian's Readers' Top 100 Books. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to go through the list of ones that I have read on the list, which is actually a little bit more than the critics' ones, and I'm going to kind of rank them based on whether I like them or not. And this ranking is based solely on my opinion. I will explain a little bit here and there kind of why I rank them this way. And the ranking isn't like 1 to 100 or whatever. It's just like I've got a bunch of the kind of the tail end that I don't think should be on the list. And then I've got a middle pack that I think were really good, really great books that I liked reading, but I wouldn't personally put them in a top 20 or top 10. Then I've got a top 10 or a top kind of 11 to 20 and then a top 10. I can't do math, which is why I'm a reader. A book on the list that I really didn't like, and I'm going to explain why, and that is Atonement. I never believed for a second that the court system would take a child's testimony seriously enough for a conviction in this case. This book is about wrongful conviction. It seemed like a huge flaw to me when I read it. I still remember being like, what? And then the kind of, I don't know, I just felt this book was very like self-indulgent. I don't know. I didn't like this book. I don't understand the hype for it. Catch-22. I already talked about my other video why I didn't like this book. And basically it's kind of more of a me thing, I think. And it's one of those books that I kind of didn't like from the get-go, and I really never, ever lost that opinion. Great Gatsby. I've said before, I don't like Fitzgerald. He stole his wife's work. He's too flowery. He's kind of pretentious. I can never get into Fitzgerald. I tried to read a couple of his books, and he's not for me. He's not for me, and that's fine. Lolita. Again, this book is distasteful for obvious reasons, but the method behind it, making the reader complicit in the atrocious actions of the main character, was successful. It's one of those books that is structurally really fascinating, but it's really hard to read because it's so gross. It's a horror book in my mind, and it's horror of the worst kind. And yeah, Lolita is a thing. I don't know. It's not a book I would recommend to people. And it's a book that if you say you like it, I'm kind of like, okay. Okay, so getting on to, 100 Years of Solitude. People love this book. I found it boring. I can't get into it. I've tried one of his other books too, and I also just couldn't, DNF'd it. Maybe it's the author. Yeah, I just find him really boring. Now, all the books that I liked, and I have some of them. Don't have all of them. So All the Light We Cannot See, enjoyed it. Animal Farm, definitely worth reading. I have not watched the new movie. I don't know. I don't know. I hope it just doesn't fall on my kids' radar, because I don't want to have to be like, actually, this is an allegory. Beloved, excellent book, very depressing, very sad. I mean, it's you should read this book. I think everyone in America should read this book specifically. Brave New World. I don't have it. I thought I did. Huh. Anyway, Crime and Punishment. Yep. Fun. Fun. Fahrenheit 451, another important book to read. For Whom the Bell Tolls, I had Hemingway's Farewell to Arms in my top 10 list for the critics one. I don't like For Whom the Bell Tolls as much. I think it's just as well written. It didn't hit me in the same way as for Farewell to Arms. God, Hemingway, stop naming your books something complicated. Frankenstein. We all love Frankenstein. Great Expectations. Yeah, it's good. Not my favorite Charles Dickens book, which I said before is Dombey and Son. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. It's hard to separate the artist from the art. I do have the entire collection. It was given to me, a fancy kind of box set. It's in my kids' room. They have not read it yet. They're not even into it. Like, we showed them the first couple movies, and they were fine with them, but they actually kind of got bored, like, halfway through, and they're, like, the prime age for Harry Potter, so, I don't know. I'm not going to push it at my kids. If they want to read it, they can, but we will have a long conversation about J.K. Rowling and her opinions. Les Mis. Les Mis is... it's fine. Mansfield Park, not my favorite Austen. Midnight's Children, I read this for university, and I thought it was good. It's I've read other Salman Rushdie books, actually, so I can't think of what my favorite one of his was. I'm like looking at my shelf. I'm like, where are they? Where are all my Salman Rushdie books? I don't know. Oh, Moby Dick. Fun. 1984, of course, of Human Bondage. This book, I can't even remember this book. I do remember liking it. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so I'm reading about the back cover. I'm like, right, I forgot about that whole thing. Persuasion, not my favorite Jane Austen either. Rebecca, the cool cover one I always show, even though it doesn't tell you what it's about. If you have not read Rebecca, I definitely recommend it. It's really fun. Great gothic mystery. You're like, is she crazy? What's going on? It's really good. Where are we? Slaughterhouse-Five. Yeah. The Book Thief. I enjoyed The Book Thief, even though it's so sad. It's cool when, like, death is a character. I always love that trope. The Color Purple, again, excellent novel, extremely depressing and sad. The Handmaid's Tale. Yep, I mean, we all know what this is. Excellent. Canadian author. Yeah. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Very fun. I like the Hitchhiker's Guide. Not my favorite sci-fi book of all time, but I got this cool, like, complete set. I think I got this at a yard sale for, like, $3. The Kite Runner. Good book. Kind of sad. I owned it. Didn't keep it. Left Hand of Darkness. Not my favorite Le Guin, but it's good. It's totally worth reading. Lord of the Rings. No, this is not even in my top 20. Lord of the Rings, I'm sorry. It's boring. I would have to do a whole video on why I'm not into Lord of the Rings. Some of it has to do with the lack of female representation. Same with the movies. You know, in the movies that women talk for a grand total of 9 minutes for the entire 3 movies. 9 minutes of dialogue you get from women. That's insane to me. There is a reason, why it's sometimes good to kind of gender bend characters. Because, I watch that and I'm like, who's for me? I guess I could stare at Viggo Mortensen, but that's kind of the extent of it. Let's see, where are we at? The Plague. This book's interesting. Poisonwood Bible. I remember really liking it. I didn't keep the book, though. Shadow of the Wind. I think my dad gave me this book, and I gave it back to him. It was good. This ridiculous copy I have of The Stand. It's fallen apart. I actually think I've read this book a couple times. It's one of the only books, like, my husband has read. This and, like, House of Leaves for some reason, and then Christine he's read, like, 9 times. Where are we at? Things Fall Apart. Yep. Wuthering Heights, which I talked about a bit about in my other video, so you can check that out there, I guess. The Secret History. Yeah, Donna Tartt. Her characters are rarely likable, but her books are just so intricately plotted and have so much depth, and they're so fascinating. Yeah, Donna Tartt is excellent. I can understand why people say, like, she might be a bit slow and stuff, and I understand if you don't like unlikable characters, but I don't know. It's just, it's a different experience reading Donna Tartt. And Never Let Me Go, which I really liked. Okay, so now we're going into my runners-ups that are runners-ups to the top 10, I guess. So there's actually only 8 of these because I couldn't take others. Like, I couldn't justify moving some of them up. Like, for example, like, I really like Moby Dick, but it's not in my top 20 books of all time. So the bottom of that is another Donna Tartt book, and that is The Goldfinch. I thought The Goldfinch was excellent. It kind of drags in the last third, but it's such an in-depth look at, like, someone's life, and I don't know, she's just, like, so masterful at making you, not even, in this one even, it's something very mundane in a way, and just, like, how the implications of, like, the start of the book kind of travel through this massive tome to the very end. She's just a masterful writer, and you have to, like, appreciate her skill. The Road. I love The Road. Yeah, I love Cormac McCarthy's kind of pared down style. I like the father and son aspect. I love post-apocalyptic stuff. This is an easy one for me. We've Always Lived in the Castle. I don't own a copy, but I should. This book blew me away when I read it like 20 years ago, and I need to reread it. The Bell Jar. I studied this in university. This is definitely a book, if you're a woman, you should check out. It's a fascinating story and very, very harrowing at times. What's over here? Ulysses. This was on my list too last time. Not my top 10, but I'm so proud of myself for reading it. It's a lot. And Molly's section is definitely worth, just Molly's section alone is just amazing. Villette. I think this is probably my favorite Charlotte. No, Shirley is my favorite Charlotte Bronte, but Villette is really, really good too. And if you haven't read any Charlotte Bronte other than like Jane Eyre, you should check this one out. It's kind of a, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, this is the one about the school. Yeah, so like she goes and this woman working in a school basically. Oh, that sounds exciting. Then we have Dracula. Oh yeah, I have my little. Where did it go? I don't know where it went. And then Emma, which this is what I get for filming 2 videos at the same time. There it is. Emma. Not like you need to see the cover, but I like this version. I have like a whole stack of these Oxford World Classics because they look so nice on the shelf because they all have this like red line and then the white. I've got about like 20 of them. They look so good. Now, moving on to the books that I really, really love on this list. These are my top 10s, if I can find them. There they are. All right, and here come the top 10. So, The Remains of the Day by Ishiguro. I love this book. I talked about it a lot more in the other video because it was on my top 10 list then too, but you should totally check this book out. I mean, it kind of helps to have a bit of history knowledge of like Britain after World War II, but you don't need that to kind of view it's just like such a quiet kind of book about a very interesting man, and it has a little unrequited romance in it too. It's good. And then we have my dilapidated version of Dune. Yeah, I know. I need a new version of Dune. Dune is great. I've read it like 3 times. I hate the last line of the book. If you want, so when the movie, the new movie came out a few years ago, how long ago was that? It was one of my first videos on this channel, I think, or somewhere around there. Anyway, I did a kind of reread of this, and then I talked about it, and it was kind of like how I apply my classic sci-fi book reviews. So you can check that out if you want. But yeah, the last line of this book is so annoying, but the rest of the book is fantastic. Mrs. Dalloway. I absolutely love Mrs. Dalloway. This book got me into Virginia Woolf. It was part of this like modernist literature course that I took in university, and so I just have really good like memories of that. And this book blew me away when I first read it because I never really experienced that kind of stream of consciousness before, and so this book is excellent. To Kill a Mockingbird. So I read this book in grade 6. We had to read a book for like a book review or something, or I don't know. I have read this book. I haven't read it in a long time. Like I probably haven't read it since my 20s, and I'm in my 40s. Do I look like I'm in my 40s? And I read it probably 10, 15 times in my youth, even before I kind of understood the racial themes behind it. Like I understood it, but I didn't really understand it. But I just really loved Scout. I just really loved the mystery. This book probably really got me into like courtroom dramas and things like that, which I really love when a book includes a courtroom drama and when like shows include courtroom drama. So yeah, no, I owe a lot to Kill a Mockingbird. I have not read the sequel yet. I've been afraid. And then we have Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre is excellent. If you have not read Jane Eyre, you're doing yourself a disservice. Jane Eyre is so good. And it reads like a modern book. Like, I think I read this book when I was 14. Totally understood it. Did not find it boring. So you should totally check it out if you haven't read it before. Watership Down. Oh. So my dad read this book to me, I think, when I was 9 or 10. And then I kind of reread it myself a few times since then. So I have like a kind of nostalgic connection to it, but also it's so good. It is so good, even though it's very sad. The poor bunnies. My daughter, who's obsessed with rabbits, and she's like 6, and was like, "Can I read that book?" I'm like, "No, we are not reading this. You will cry. I will cry. We'll all cry." And then we have Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Of course, how would my Mr. Darcy not be on this list? There's a reason why people like this book. If you have not read it, you're like, "Oh, it's a big hyped book." No, it's amazing. It's such a Jane Austen, she doesn't just write love stories. Like, that's not the point of the book. The point of the book is on like social economics. The point of the book is on like the plight of women at the time. The book is about so much more than just like, oh, this man and this woman love each other. It's like that's the heart of the story. But this book has an entire skeleton around it and skin and everything about it. It's a whole person in its own. And like the love story is just like the fun part about it. Then we have Middlemarch, which is a tome, but it is a tome worth reading. It's just, again, it's like Jane Austen. George Eliot, she is, yeah, it's a pseudonym. She is just a master at kind of the microcosm of a community. So she'll take a small town or like a manor house and then the houses around it, and then she'll show how these things all interconnect and how they interweave and how everything from class to gender to just to people's personalities, how they all kind of work together. It's so realistic, and that's what's so great about it. And we have The Master and Margarita, which is excellent. You should read it. It's so funny. It is hilarious. And you don't even need to know anything about like the time period. I think I read this book before I even knew. I can't, oh yeah, so the 30s and yeah, I was going to say, I was just like, I think it has to do with that time period. I couldn't remember. I need to reread this one. I did read it like 15 years ago. It's so good. And my favorite book on the list, it was hard to pick a favorite from these because they're all so different. Though I will say most of them are women authors, which is like tracks for me. But also, I mean, this book, it's Little Women. I love this book so much. I adore it. It's just such it just deals with so many interesting things. And it's just like George Eliot. It's just like Jane Austen. It's not about these little love stories in the book. It's about family. So while George Eliot is about, kind of society in a sense, and then Jane Austen is more about kind of themes of society in an overarching way, this is like really takes a deep dive into like the domestic sphere, into family, and it's a bit more emotional than the other two that I've talked about. It's just, and if you have sisters, you can't, I mean, sisters you're close with, you can't not love Little Women. I can't wait to read it to my kids. They're not old enough yet, and I could start reading it to them. The older one might like it, but I must have read this book so many times. I bought this book in 2008, but I definitely read it when I was younger too. So yeah, there's the list for you. So there's my opinions on the Guardian's list based on readers' top 100. As I said, you can check out my critics' top 100 review or kind of assessment of that too. There's some repeated books, of course. So let me know in the comments if you disagree on my favorite book of the list, which is totally fine. That's the thing about these things. They're so subjective. So you can't really get mad at the list being like, oh, I wouldn't put that on there. Like, I get it. Some people really like Catch-22. I think my dad loves that book, but I don't. So, and that's okay. That's okay. That's why reading is so fun, because you can have so many different opinions on it. You can have the best book in the world and someone can be like, that sucks. And that's okay. So thank you for checking this out.